The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, is another episode of the Modern Jeeper Show with me, Matson from MetalCloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Rockstar Jeep girl, Jessy.
Hey.
Hi. Boy,
Click.
I've got lots of energy, even though I didn't sleep last night. I think I got like 2 hours, go to sleep at 4 a.m., wake up at 6. Or lay in bed at 4 a.m., lay there for 25 minutes thinking about the things I need to do today, and then wake up at 6. And
Have
then,
you done a sleep study at all yet?
Yeah, I did actually do a sleep study. Yeah, and yes, I have sleep apnea and all kinds of other fun stuff. It didn't matter. I didn't make any changes. But you guys just got off the road. So
yeah, we are in Tucumcari, New Mexico.
What? Tucumcari. Tucumcari. So okay, so you got to think, what was it like when somebody was deciding they're going to name the town? It's not like somebody's last name. Yeah, my name is Roberto Tucumcari. This is my town. I mean, like, what was the naming of the town like? What was the history of it? Tucumcari.
Yeah, I ain't giving you any of that today. I mean, I'm sure it was in Indian. This is all Indian territory.
Yeah, there you go.
As is most of New Mexico. But yeah, I think we've had just about everything in the last 3 days of driving. We've had downpours in Mississippi. It's 98 degrees here, and the wind, as you just may have noticed, the wind is blowing some gusts about 20, 30 miles an hour. It's extremely hot though in the sun. But we've had a little bit of just about every type of weather. I think we haven't had snow, but it's been an interesting, we've been on the road now for, I think, 28 days, something like that.
Wow, 28 days. And speaking of which, you're just heading back from a Florida Jeep Jam. How was it?
Florida Jeep Jam. You know what? And again, I'm going to give a shout out to the coordinator there. Jamie does such an awesome job. And again, and I think I talked a little bit about this last week. Oh, and we're still recovering from whatever sinus, colds, weird cough thing. Anyway,
COVID-22.
COVID-22. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when we pull into an event, and we've talked about this so many times, when the coordinator kind of already knows what to expect from the MetalCloak CTI trailer and what we need, and of course we're a lot different than most vendors, but when they have an area set up specifically for us, and then we show up and we have a little discussion and we change it all pretty much on the fly, it's so nice and so accommodating. And they're like, nope, you're right. Like traffic flow, it'll be better. And then, we get set up and we go to the kickoff party, and he's like, yeah, when you guys get there, it's going to say the lot is full. There's a line of like 200 people waiting to get in this place. He's like, yeah, just we'll watch for you. They move the barriers. We pull up to the very front of the line, park the LJ right in front of the door, and blow past the line and walk in. I mean, he's taking care of the vendors so that the show is a good time for everybody. And I think that as it starts to attract more vendors, that show just continues to grow. I know that preliminary numbers, last year they sold around 1,700 pre-registered. This year they were over 2,000 pre-registered. And then that means in his math, and we don't have exact numbers yet, he's thinking we had around 4,200 to 4,300 people inside the venue. And then that also isn't including the wristbands. So they sell wristbands at the gate. They ran out after 400.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah. I think.
So I was positing that there was a possibility that it was becoming the new Jeep Beach, that it was going to be the new. Is that how you felt?
For us, And of course, we've talked about this before in the past. Sometimes the big events, the big venues,
vendors get lost.
The vendors get lost, and the show becomes so large that it's hard to really, spend any quality time. We're banging people in and off the CTI trailer, and we're talking to people in such a hurry that sometimes a show that's smaller. And I got to tell you, Panama City Beach, those everywhere we went, folks were so welcoming. They're doing a lot of construction in that town, of course, because of the hurricanes and the storms they've had over the last few years. So a lot of it is under construction, but it was super, super nice. I mean, in my opinion, the beach is nicer. Can you drive up and down the beach? No, but that's okay. You can still go to the beach. And they do have a couple of their events that are on the beach and whatnot. That's special. They let you on the beach for this event. But
Panama City is more homey. The people are welcoming. They're nice. They're courteous. They love to have us coming. The beaches are pristine. The sand's nice. The water's nice. Everything about.
So they appreciate the people. They appreciate the tourists. They appreciate the revenue being generated.
Daytona is a very touristy location, and again, Jeep Beach, that event has grown so large, and I get it. I still think there's a reason that people will always go to Jeep Beach just because it is such a huge event. But I think that there's also another group that is like, man, dealing with trying to go to a restaurant and waiting 3 hours to get in, that's not what they want to be there for. So all of a sudden, Panama becomes the event where, the obstacle course is a little bit smaller. The vendor area, it's a little bit smaller. But I think there's just as many attractions. You may have to drive a little ways to go find certain things, but it's a neat area. I mean, it's very tourist driven. It's not nicer. As busy as Daytona is.
It's a lot nicer.
Right. Interesting. So you had a good time though.
Yeah. I mean, we got rained out on Friday afternoon. Had this little weird thunderstorm show up about 3:00, and it's pretty interesting when it's 85 degrees and pouring down rain. It creates kind of an interesting mad rush for people, because everybody was, of course, had their tops off and doors off, and so you see this mad dash of people running across this field trying to cover their rigs up in the thunderstorm, and an hour and a half later it's gone and done. But
that's awesome.
It was a good event, and again, shout out. We'll have some more information as Jamie gets the real numbers to us as far as turnout and whatnot. But I think the vendors did good. I think that it was a good show. We really enjoyed that show. We had our buddy Philip Thorpe come down, who a lot of our listeners may know from the forum and some of the newsletters and whatnot. So Philip and his girlfriend came down and helped us out, and very, very welcomed and appreciated.
Oh, Philip's got a girlfriend now, huh? I've been keeping up in his love life.
Yeah.
Nice.
Trouble.
Nice. Yeah, last time it was on the pod, it was about, being divorced and blah blah blah, moving on with life, and now he's got a girlfriend. Good to know.
He's been working a lot and missing out on some of the off-road stuff, and I think he's going to make it out to our San Juan adventure though in Colorado here in a couple months. And I mean, it's fun. So we're coming across I-40. We're headed towards Flagstaff for the Overland Expo West, and we're already seeing people on the road from other states heading to this Overland Expo. And I think that, this is going to be all of our first Overland show. I have a feeling we may be shocked.
I'm excited to see all the new cool stuff, because what we saw coming down the highway, I thought was pretty impressive.
Pretty neat stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
me getting my Jeep hopefully by the end of the month, I'm looking to outfit it for overlanding for our trip. So
Nice. So any more about the Jeep? Like, is it all just scheduled, ready to go, or what?
I don't know yet. They still haven't called me.
So, and it's interesting. Every time we drive by a dealership, we look. we have not seen a high velocity sitting on any lot anywhere.
Wow. Wow.
So,
We've been a lot of places in the last week.
yeah, yeah.
I've not seen it one yet.
You know, man, that ought to be a thing for the CTI trailer now. Is like as you're going around the country, is getting a sticker from every Jeep dealership you drive by.
Yeah, right. Well, I think but it's also funny too.
Screw the Line X. We're just covering the thing in Jeep stickers.
Right, we're just going to cover it up. We've also it's kind of been interesting to me to every time we go by a dealership, some dealer, in Colorado, a lot of the dealerships have very few vehicles on the lot. It's weird. In some states, some of these dealerships, they're packed. Now, I don't know if some of these dealerships are a holding or a shipping to spot, and then they distribute them to other dealerships. But it's been really odd that we don't see a whole lot of cars, and then some of these dealerships, they look like they're full, like nothing. There's no shortage at all.
Right. Well, that is very interesting because you can see that as well. Like you go in the RV market and the boat market. I'm sure going the same thing. You saw some places where there was sparse, and others where it's like that's loaded up, and that's as a key economic indicator. One of the key economic indicators is seeing how many boats are sitting in a lot, how many RVs are sitting in a lot. Because
Yep.
last year there were none, and now
So
if they,
I have an interesting addition to what you just said there. So, in Grand Junction, Colorado, there is a large train depot that used to it holds like a couple of hundred locomotive engines. So
wow.
all of the BNSF and all of those engines up until they'd been that yard has been full for the last
Sitting, just stuff sitting.
for 2 years.
Locomotive sitting.
And somebody had told me that when the economy starts to come back, all of those locomotives will be gone. Well, it's kind of interesting. A couple weeks before when we left, a few weeks ago, that lot only had maybe 3 or 4 engines in it out of probably 200. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, so those engines, of course, get spread out through the country.
Right.
We saw massive amounts of containers on trains in Texas. Texas,
miles of train,
mile long with double stack containers on them.
Yeah.
Trying to get stuff shipped across country.
Yep.
Maybe there's some baby formula in one of those.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
of course, those are all just going to the border.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, don't even get political or anything right now.
We need to do
on and on about that.
We might need to have a upcoming just a political show, and then you and I.
Yeah, that's right. We're just gonna have. That's it, guys. One of the upcoming episodes of Modern Jeeper is going to be called The Political Show, and we're just going to rant. Probably going to be 2 hours of ranting.
Right. And you backlash on us. Everybody has their own opinion.
Everybody has their own opinion. We're recording this on Tuesday, which happens to be the primaries for Pennsylvania is one of them on today.
Oh.
Yeah, just to see who ends up in the getting that, because Dr. Oz is one of the candidates.
Oh, right. I saw that.
Yeah, interesting.
He's Republican too?
He is. Everybody loved him until he announced he was Republican, and then all of a sudden the left. Oh no, Dr. Oz, he's terrible. He's a racist. He wants to take away all your rights. Yep. I will say that I'm going to get really briefly political here, and it's going to be a very touchy subject, but it's only because I was inspired by this man. There was a pro-choice rally. It was in D.C., right? And it's great. Everybody's allowed to rally and go out and do things. You do it peacefully, it's fine. There was a gentleman who was out there, African-American man, wearing a big orange vest with Jesus Saves, and he's holding the sign, Jesus Saves, right? And it's like the type of guy you might see on the street corner over the overpasses over the freeway, right? There's one guy out here that does John 3:16, and he dances above the freeway overpasses all day, right? And waves at all the cars going by. So this guy had the sign Jesus Saves, and what he's yelling at everybody is I love you, I love you. I'm so glad your mama didn't abort you. right? And he's just yelling that to all these people, and which is it's fine. He's just doing that, but anybody can get out there and do that. And, but then the vitriol started against him. Like he moved along with the migration, and he's ended up being out in front of the Supreme Court, and the amount of nasty, nasty, nasty stuff that was being yelled in his face, things I cannot repeat on a family show like the Modern Jeeper Show, was insane, right? And this is from multiple sources and multiple people. And I'm not getting into what was said or wasn't said. What I was getting into is this the disposition of this one man who continued to smile and continued to tell everybody he loved them, who continued to just say, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about that. I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about that. And I'm so glad your mama did abort you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and thank you so much, and I love you. And he's just doing that, and the more that rhythm he was going, he started getting into the rhythm too with his Jesus saves, Jesus saves. They're yelling, go home. He's yelling, Jesus saves. And the power of one individual to have that much impact and not be flustered by all the negative crap around us. I mean, we can only all wish to be that way.
That's right.
Because it doesn't even have to be in our face. It doesn't even have to be somebody 5 feet away from you. I mean, there's people putting signs in his face and like pointing at him and stuff. We get flustered when we see somebody make a comment on a freaking
On a social media
post. We go, oh man, right? And this guy isn't. So I'm taking inspiration from this guy. Like, it doesn't really matter what anybody else says.
Right.
What matters is how you act and how you react and how you do things with other people. And it was just that's my inspirational statement for the day. And you can reach me at matson@milcloak.com. All comments can be sent to matson@milcloak.com. But it was inspiring.
Well, and that's such a huge thing, and I think it's super important, especially for now, this time. It seems, it's. I know that you've danced around social media. You'll be in there and you'll post something or something, and then you're gone. And I've become more that way over the last probably 2 years. And you know what? It feels better when we start to let all these outside things influence us personally. That's unfortunate, and I think that we by going to events, it always opens our eyes a little bit more as to who's out there, when we're at events, it's always kind of weird for me because everybody that's there is typically either on vacation or they're there to enjoy themselves, and our vendor circle, everybody is there working, and it's always we kind of got to keep that in perspective a lot, that people don't care about the drama that we went through that day, that night, how we got there, what is going on in our worlds. They want to go to the event and have a good time, and I think that's super important for people to keep in mind. And there's a lot of vendors out there who, they maybe I don't know, they work hard and they play a little too hard sometimes. And then you see them at a show, and I always kind of scratch my head and go, was that the best thing they could have done for their company the night before was to go out and maybe play a little too hard, and now today they don't have their brightest face on in front of people who are there to really enjoy it. It's like going to an amusement park. The people that are working there they're all about making sure that the people who are paid to be there are having a good time. Who wants to see a pissed off Mickey Mouse?
No, that's like going to one of those little carnivals that show up at the middle of your supermarket parking lot or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Now you walk through there, you're like, yeah, these a bunch of people that feel like this is the bottom dregs of their life. They don't appreciate it anymore. They don't enjoy what they're doing. They don't even enjoy the interaction.
Squidward didn't fair interaction at all.
Yeah, Squidward was a little grumpy, but it's a good. I like your inspiration, and I think that it's as doing what we do in the Jeep lifestyle, I think is so important for folks, and with everything we can do to always kind of be on top of our game and make sure that we have people that get on the trailer, and some of them do not want to hear what we can help them with or anything. They want their picture taken, and that's it. some want the help, and they're there to learn more and stuff. And it's always interesting to me how everybody has their, oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what? Panama is still a place where people, they do not know what a sway bar is, nor why would you ever disconnect it. I mean, it came from Jeep bolted to it, so why would I want to take that apart? But
why would I want to do that?
those are fun conversations for sure.
That's awesome. Well, one of the reasons we're all going to Overland Expo West, and we talked about it in our last episode, which was all about the $20,000 Ultimate Rocklander 20K giveaway, is this giveaway that we're going to be announcing. And we're going to be doing it out of our friends, most likely, assuming all tech works, out of the DMOS Collective booth, which is the DMOS Pro Shovel Company. I've got a couple on my rig. You've got one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And part of that, though, we've got a full line of people we're going to be talking to, and we're going to do the giveaway, which by the way, deadline. You're going to most of you guys will listen to this episode on Thursday morning, and that is the 19th, and that is the deadline. So if you haven't already entered, this is the deadline. Thursday evening at midnight Pacific is the deadline to enter. It's free to enter. If you haven't entered already, you're a fool. But I don't have no, but I never win. No, but I no, just go and do it. UltimateRocklander.com.
We had some folks, they saw the sign. We have I don't know what to call it, one of those tent signs that is a stand-up sign, the metal one, out at Florida Jeep Jam. And we had a kind of a group, especially during the rain, that huddled around the ARS tent. And I noticed they were all on their phones and taking pictures of the
quite a few people were.
Yeah, of the QR code on there. So I think the QR code is on our ads too, is it not?
Oh yeah, it's on the ads. It's out there. So the QR code makes it easy, but it's ultimaterocklander.com. It was even in the last video, like in our video, we posted it up. So, and maybe we'll get him to do it again. Right here, right here. There you go. See, it's gonna. There's the QR code. Quick, quick, pause us. Take a picture.
Well, I also had Jamie put us in their passport.
That was nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Had to come find us, take a selfie, hashtag us, and turn it back in and have us.
Oh, really? That was cool.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to be a part of it? And usually we're not because we're so darn busy. But I was like, you know what? We need to drive more people here.
And it was
because
cool.
They always go, well, we can't find you.
So people would come out and they maybe necessarily didn't drive their Jeep over to the trailer, but they were driven to come talk to us at the table and at the tent and look and see what, catalogs and stuff we had, because we were in their passport. And I thought it was very, very good idea that, here again, the coordinator is trying to drive people to people's booths. And what a great thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Hey, some of our sponsors, for all everybody out there that wants to know, they're all listening to the site, but we have Go Mammoth. Go Mammoth has their Overland tent, which happens to be two of my favorite current colors right now, orange and gray. And Rack and Road, which is a west, for those who don't know Rack and Road, they're mostly West Coast. I think they have like Salt Lake City is the farthest east they go. But they are vehicle outfitters, a retailer, and we got a couple of things coming from them. I believe we have an awning coming from them, and as well as Max Tracks coming from them as a retailer. Forlow magazine with a subscription. Factor 55, of course, with one of their pro thimbles, which is the Pro Hook. I think it's Pro Hook. ModernJeeper Adventures, of course, because you get to choose any one of the ModernJeeper Adventures you want to go on. And be a part of that. It doesn't have to be like right away. You can just choose one next year and plan yourself out. MetalCloak, of course, which is going to be giving suspension systems and front and rear bumpers, I believe, as well. And looking at, I think it's suspension system, front and rear bumpers. I have to look at what I committed to. I don't even remember. We head to the front bumper, obviously, because we're getting a Warn winch. I want to be able to do that, but we're going to do a rear bumper as well to match it all through. Raceline Wheels, which with whatever wheels you want to get, you'll be in touch. What we do when you win is we put you in touch with the guys who are responsible for those brands, and you figure out what you need and what you want. Stinger Off Road with their HD like camera system reverse review mirror thing. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, we spent a little bit of time with them. They were actually had an installation booth with Ricky at Jeepers Den, and it was really cool. We actually went and had dinner with them the night before, and
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good group of guys.
Awesome. And then Morphlate, our buddy Tyler out here. It's this is a inflation system, and a partner steel with their stove that they got. Pretty badass stove. DMOS, of course, we've already mentioned. They're part of our shovel, but they have a pro shovel with their system. Rugged radios with a 60-watt DMRS system. Nacho Off-Road Technology, which is our friend Andrew of Let's Roll Off-Road. They're going to actually be out there at Off-Road Expo, or excuse me, Overland Expo, and they got lighting from them. Jeremy at Outlaw Adventure Tours for a trip out there if you want to join them. Adventure Rack Systems, of course, the sponsor of this overall thing with a rack system for your JK, JL, or JT. Milestar Tires with a set of whatever wheels you want. You can do the or what tires you want. Patagonia. You can do the XT. You can do the ATs. Whatever style you want to do, just give them a call. And of course, Crawl Magazine with a subscription support. So, just some of the sponsors we have, a lot of the miscellaneous stuff, but this is all part of that Ultimate Rocklander giveaway. The total value of that package is over $20,000, guys.
Oh yeah,
over $20,000.
Amazing. I mean, that's like a full build in a box.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so you got all this stuff, and it'll all be there. I think in most cases, guys, everything's going to be shipped for free. There might be some vendors that will ask for you to pay for shipping, but it's a small price to pay for the amount of money you're getting, the amount of stuff you're getting. So, but there are other rules, and everybody wants to know any other rules and stuff. They go to the footer at ultimaterocklander.com where it says rules for entry, and it all has all those other little miscellaneous details. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I mean, we're giving away all this stuff in one fell swoop. We might, depending on how we feel, the show itself is going to be at 10 a.m. on Saturday the 21st. That's 10 a.m. Arizona time. I don't know what time zone that is. So, what time is it in Arizona right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
4 o'clock.
Is it 4 or is it 3?
I think during the summer months they go to
because Arizona doesn't play the game.
Right, they don't play the game. So right now is right. So what time is it? Okay, so they are the same time. They're the same as West Coast time. So essentially, it's 3:01 p.m. But it's so West Coast time, whatever. It is going to be at 10 a.m. We do it 10 a.m. We will be bright and happy and healthy because we've had some breakfast and some coffee in us or other things. And we will be giving it away. So I think it's going to be fun. But it's going to be a live show, guys. Now, bear with us because we'll have all our tech stuff. But, man, it may be. And where are you going to watch it live? That's a good question. I'm glad I thought of it. If it all works out well, you'll be able to watch it at MetalCloak Facebook, MetalCloak Instagram,
right.
ModernJeeper Facebook, ModernJeeper Instagram, ARS Facebook, ARS Instagram. 6 possible places to catch the show. Now, if it doesn't work out, it's probably all going to be ModernJeeper. We'll have to focus on one. But if it all works out, we'll have it spread across.
Our plan is it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm hoping for good Wi-Fi where we're at. That'll be the key and the kicker. Even if we don't have good Wi-Fi, we're going to have some pretty decent cell signal. But that early in the morning, we should be good. I'm hoping.
Right. I agree. I'm thinking that time that early in the morning, it's going to be better. Signal will be open, not as many people out. We'll be somewhat with
fresh.
It, fresh. So it's gonna be fun, but we're gonna do that. Just a big giveaway. And if you guys have ever watched any of ours, like the MetalCloak Live, when we do the giveaway, it would be kind of like fun. We'll do it like that as well. I'm sure we're gonna give away other stuff too during the show. Lots of other things to talk about the show. Hopefully, we can bring in some of our partners to come in and say hi and talk a little bit about their products, depending on who's out there, and give you guys just kind of a feel of what this show is like and if it's worth your time to get out there and do it. I mean, this will be our first time at an Overland Expo, and I love Flagstaff area, so it's going to be great to be out there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's not nearly as hot or windy as it is in New Mexico today. But I think there's supposed to be pretty good weather from what I remember. There was a fire. There was a fire going around in Flagstaff, and I don't know what state that's in right now or if it's in control or not, but hopefully they've got it under control.
Yeah, hopefully they do. Yeah, I mean, I love the area. I've already talked before how my dad lived in Happy Jack, Arizona, which is just south of Flagstaff, about an hour south. So it wasn't much of a hop, skip, and a jump to go drive up to Flagstaff and check out some of the areas up there. But it's also a college town, so it has all the amenities of a college town, which means it's probably cool and hip, and you can get a vegan, gluten-free, double white, stuffed, double pumped, whatever, non-binary mocha there. I'm sure. Let's not talk about Starbucks.
Okay.
Hey, so okay, so this is it's gonna be fun. I mean, it's gonna be cool. Anyway, you're heading out there. You're gonna be there. You're
Our plan is to get there tomorrow night. And again, we kind of planned this trip back across as a big push to get there, just in case we were to have, we're pulling the trailer and have the truck, and in case something were to go wrong, I wanted to give us some time to get across. But a shout out to one of our sponsors, Milestar. The new XTs that are on the truck are wearing phenomenally well than the previous set was, and these are the new ones with the snowflake rating. And
snowflake. I want the snowflake. Can I have the snowflake tires, please?
They want the snowflake.
The snowflakes.
And a shout out to again Raceline Wheels and Milestar. We run the Steel Pros on the CTI trailer, and that is a very heavy trailer, and then you throw a Jeep on there and you pull it back and forth across not the best roads in the country, in extreme heat. The tires are holding up phenomenally well this time, and a lot of the folks that were following us last year knew that we had some issues losing some wheels and tires and breaking some wheel studs and that kind of thing. Everything's replaced, everything's new now, and everything's working out really, really well. Max Tie Down's holding this whole thing together as we go down the road. So, yeah, just kudos to all those guys for helping keep us on the road and keep us safe. I always can get concerned when it starts to get to about 100 degrees outside, because tires on the truck pulling something and trailer tires get extremely hot when the asphalt's 140, 150 degrees. So everything's holding up fine, and we're looking forward to getting out to Flagstaff.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It's going to be a great time. Good chance to see you guys again. And so now after Flagstaff, actually, let's.
What day is it?
Yeah, right
after Flagstaff is you guys are immediately go back to Moab, ModernJeeper Adventures Moab.
ModernJeeper Adventures Moab.
So are you able to run home first and then come out? Is that
gotta go home and switch
shower
once, and then probably we got to pick up another Jeep. So she'll take Jessy's going to take Rockstar out there at the JK as well. So we'll reload, get to Moab, have the ModernJeeper Adventure, which is, gosh, we've got a fair amount of participants, and looking super forward to going to Moab and Wheeling, where there's not 80 people in a line trail.
Right. Yeah, registration's been good. I mean, you got a good registration block for it. We got good registration going through for Tillamook right now.
Yeah.
Good registration going through San Juan's of Colorado. All the live events. So it's been good. I've been watching those trickle in. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. There's some good people, new people too.
Yeah, good groups of people with similar lifestyles, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, so we finished Moab, and we turn around. We've got a couple of CTI events in Oklahoma, and then an event in Kansas for it's
Jeeperama.
It's Jeeperama. So
Jeeperama.
we're going to kind of make a little circle and take care of some CTI folks and Jeeperama, which is an event put on 4x4 land. And I'm sure we'll see a couple of the other folks out there as well. And then we get to come home for like 2 weeks, I think, before Tillamook.
Right. Tillamook. I almost forgot from Overland Expo. So, free shirt. So we did a shirt for Overland Expo West. This is unique because it was just a small run. It's only 100, not like the 500 we gave away at EJS. But this is the shirt, guys. So it has you can see there, It has the Rocklander Adventure Club badge on
Nice.
the front, and then it's a combination shirt with our friends at DMOS. So
Nice.
with our friends at DMOS, so it's you can see there it has Modern Jeeper Show, Overland Expo West, ARS, DMOS, and then of course some graphics you guys are familiar with on our giveaway shirts. So it's of course it's our super soft. This is the charcoal colored super soft district DM130 shirt. Yes.
Very.
We can do like they do on this.
Soft.
You know, I will say that for Florida Jeep Jam, this was the first time going to an event where people were like, "So, do you have any of the Jeep Beach shirts left? You didn't bring me one, did you?" Like, it was yeah, the shirts are becoming a thing. So, if you want to get one, though, you have to go to the event that we give them away at.
That's right. That's right. And then, of course, there are shirts for the attendees. Like whenever you attend a Modern Jeeper Adventure, we do a
Right.
limited run of shirts just for the attendees. You will only have that. You're the one. You went to the concert. You were there. You could be seen. You had the shirt. So, well, that'd be cool. So you're going, man, just a crazy whirlwind. I mean, my schedule is like phenomenally crazy. Like I get up, I get the kids up, I come to work, I get home, I put the kids to bed. Then I
Right.
get up. Sometime at some point around there, I go to sleep. I'm not sure when, but that's my craziness. You guys are just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, but you left out a whole bunch of detail there in simplifying your day.
It's
So,
just the
when are you
details.
guys heading? When are you guys heading down to Flagstaff?
So we'll leave around. So it was kind of funny. We just had this discussion because in my household, if I get out of the house before 7, then it's an easy departure. Kids wake up at 7 to go to school. So if I am there past 7, I of course take responsibility and try to help everybody get ready and stuff. So it's like you got to be there right before 7. I'll head out. We'll head out around 7. We'll go. So Mike will actually take my truck home because it'll be easier for him to take it home, get himself loaded in, and come by and swing by and pick me up. And then so we're driving the Gladiator guys all the way out as is set to go. So, and the great thing about it is we've got those new Patagonias on there, right? I mean,
Yep.
everybody knows the Patagonians are they're great tires, but the previous model with the previous compound just didn't like long road trips.
Yep,
And
these are Euro 2s.
yes, right. And these have already been to Moab and back from Northern California all the way out to Moab and back. So they've already been there. And you could barely tell that they've had those many miles on it again. And now we're driving them all the way down. It's about a 10-hour drive for us. We'll get down. We'll probably head down the 99 if anybody wants to wave at us as we're going by, and then cut over and head into Flagstaff. So it's about a 10-hour drive, but I told them I don't want to rush it. Like, first off, it'll be the two of us inside the Gladiator, and the
Yep.
two of you inside a Gladiator together is one thing. Two big guys like Mike and I in the Gladiator next to each other, we need some space. So we'll
Yeah.
probably stop, stretch, have a real lunch. So we'll take our time. But we will probably see you guys sometime around, sometime late afternoon.
Cool. I was just thinking about it, and I don't know why this came into my mind, but I wonder how many of our listeners out there actually pay attention to GVWR. How much stuff can you put in that JL or that JT? And I don't know why my brain just went here. And you guys going out there in the JT, and I was thinking about seeing trucks today on the highway. And there was actually a recent post that came up, and it was in regards to a guy with putting a camper on the back of his Gladiator. When Jessy and I went to Tillamook last year, there's a little scale outside of Tillamook, a little roadside scale that you can pull through. And with just the two of us, and we were loaded pretty heavy. I mean, we had a lot of stuff because we were going to be gone for a couple weeks. But the Gladiator was 6750. Now that's 500 pounds. Let me think. Yeah, 60, because 6250 is GVWR on a JT Rubicon.
Okay.
We were 6750. We were 500 pounds overweight with some stuff, right? I'm always really anal about that. I really try to keep our weights down, and I'm wondering, as the Overlander thing has grown in popularity, and we see a lot of posts where guys are just, that their Jeep is squatting. They're running our suspension, and they put enough weight in the back that it's sinking the back end. So what do they do to fix it? Well, they either go and they buy somebody else's really heavy spring, or they put a spacer in there to level it out. Well, guys, or airbags. Now, that's not how this works. And I understand that everybody wants to be level, but it is so unsafe to be that overloaded, because all of those things come into play. And it's not only hard wear and tear on the Jeep itself, but brakes. When you go to stop that much weight, you're going to run through an intersection. When people break things like axles and stuff like that, people talk about ball joints going bad and think, well, guess what? Bigger tires, more weight, more stress, more loads. I'm wondering, and it'd be good to have some feedback if people are like, yeah, but I know what I'm doing and I'm safe and I don't drive so it's okay for me to carry that kind of weight. I'm wondering, I'm really anal about it, and it really bugs me to know that I'm overloaded and overweight, and I keep trying to lighten things up or take less stuff, but sometimes we just can't. So anyway, I don't know. If you have a rack, if you have a camper, and you put all your stuff in there, I'm curious, do you know what your Jeep weighs?
That's a great question, because I think most people don't. And most people don't know that it's easy actually to get that weight, right?
It is. It is.
There's a lot of places across the country where it's a weigh station, right? And it's okay to pull up to it. We're not talking about one of the ones in California where there's 20 trucks in line and they're all
Right.
driving through, and there's multiple sensors, and there's indicators and big things and CHP all over the place waiting for you to go through. Don't take your vehicle in there. But there's these other small ones around the place that are all just little weights, and you just pull up there and sit there, and gives you your weight, and you drive off.
Yeah, because honestly, I had no idea that we were going to be that heavy, and it's amazing at how quick you get there, especially with a full tank of fuel. You throw in your luggage, and then all of a sudden, oh, your camping gear, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that, bag of cast iron cookware with us because I like it, and I'm curious. I want, what are people, you know, we used to make fun of kind of these high end overlanders because everything was titanium and super lightweight, like a backpacker, like a very
Ultralighters.
ultralighters. Yes, and you know what? They had some really good points, and there were some reasons behind that too. Um,
Well, it's like replacing, your plastic fenders with steel fenders or with aluminum. Which one are you going to do, right? And start
right,
getting aluminum choices. And that was one of those things we talk about aluminum. Well, it's interesting because there's still that debate about skid plates. There's a couple of companies that make aluminum skid plates still, and I'm not a fan of them because I know they just do not protect the way they do. But I'll counter that by saying, the one thing about steel is when you put that much steel in your underbelly, you're actually helping your rig's center of gravity. You're lowering the center of gravity. When you put all that weight in the back of your rig or even on top of your rig, you are changing the center of gravity of it, right? You start putting a big rooftop tent, you've now changed the center of gravity.
right,
Made the center of gravity higher, and you don't want the center of gravity higher, especially when you're trying to be a Rocklander. But
right.
put the skid plates on underneath as an instantaneous cure for that, to counterweight that with putting 250 pounds underneath your rig and lowering that center of gravity, because that's where you want it.
Yeah, it's funny how many people we see still running spare tires up on top of their cabs and on top of their roofs and things. And not only is it
Is
really
that where I'm
hard,
supposed to wear it? Is that where I'm supposed to carry it?
yeah,
Is that-
I think that's best.
Or everybody drives like race car drivers with it loaded down too and wonder why their transmission is going out.
Speaking of which, did you see the video of Vaughn getting Junior and Casey Curry doing some drifting? I want there's a race car driver Jeep. Damn, I don't know how they built that thing. That was badass.
Yeah, you'll have to throw a link to that in the show notes.
Absolutely, yeah, that was pretty cool. The two of those guys, because I was out. So by the way, you may not have heard about it. You may not even know it happened, because many people, it turns out, didn't. But this last Saturday out here was the return of the Ultra4 Stampede. Notice I didn't say the MetalCloak Stampede because, no, we did not sponsor this one. We are sponsoring the MetalCloak Shootout, which was the previous race out at Prairie City, which might as well have been the Stampede for the attendance that it was at. It was a phenomenal attendance, great racing, absolutely great. Only difference was it didn't have all the big boys. I mean, it had the guys that mattered. It had the Gomez brothers and some of our other local favorites, but it didn't have all the big racers, the Campbells, the Lauren Healy's of the world. So Stampede, however, did. So Stampede was coming back, and it's under the new ownership that we all learned about, right? Got to see JT Taylor, awesome dude. We'll get him on the podcast here. And pretty impressive group, though. I mean, the stuff that they brought out and what they set up down below where we usually had MetalCloak set up for the Stampede and where Rugged Radios is, they had a full big, their merch tent was covered with a big canopy and a bunch of tables for like a lounge where you can actually sit down and eat and that sort of thing. They had a big stanchion set up with a giant screen, so they were already like live streaming right there to the audience down below, as well as what they were doing online, right? So they had all that set up in the tower and everything. So pretty impressive group. However, it turns out no, not a lot of people did hear about it because the attendance, by all reports, the attendance was mostly racers and their families, not so much the daily attendees, which is too bad. I'm hoping that it catches on again, but if MetalCloak's name is not associated with something, then maybe it just doesn't happen the same way.
Well, I was surprised. I was surprised that even on social media that there just wasn't the presence. I mean, there was a couple of things here and there, but that wasn't a typical Ultra4 race. Yeah.
Oh, Lauren's posts.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren, I'm walking through the pits with my son on Friday. I couldn't be out there Saturday because Joshua had a birthday on Saturday, but I was with Jack and walking through the pits. And I look over and said, something's not quite right. And I walk closer and closer. And sure enough, it's Lauren's Ford Bronco thingy that he drives, right? Under a 10 by 10 canopy next to a common white race trailer with being pulled by a pickup truck. Like the Von Gittin setup, the fun haver setup, the whole big rig wasn't there, right? Of course, that's because it was out drifting, doing the competition. But Lauren's like, I need to come out and support this. So being who he is, being all about the support and the support itself, he threw the rig back in the back of a trailer and just drove along, cross country in a regular old trailer and yeah. And he had a great time. There's some great video of him jump. There's the one, you see the one with the drone is like following him, and it's like, holy crap, how high of a jump was that? It feels like he's flying.
Yeah. Right.
That was just awesome. But apparently he ended up winning. So
yes.
that was pretty awesome for him to come out. But Jordan Pellegrino was out there. Man, when you look at that, and I didn't get a chance to look at his rig before up close, but you look at that rig, it's very different. Like the body paneling and everything on it is very different. He went for a totally different look, and that's pretty cool.
For sure.
Looks
of course,
a little bit.
What's that? Looks like what?
A stock car.
Like a stock car.
Right. Well, Lauren talked about that a little bit too. He talked about the interesting value of Ford racing coming out, meaning that there's a lot of Toyota. Others are like all now looking at this sport and saying, maybe we should have a factory race team out there too.
Right.
How huge is that going to be if factory racing starts dumping money into this?
Well, and I think I don't know. It's hard for me to compute that knowing what fuel is right now and everything else. I'm like, yeah, so everybody's hurting except for the manufacturers making cars.
It's all marketing budget.
Right.
Well, according to Elon Musk, the only thing that car companies actually do is they assemble parts and market them. Other companies do all the selling. Other companies do all the manufacturing. A lot of the other companies do all the innovation. A lot of the other companies do all the software. A lot of everybody else has done everything else. All the car company does is take all those pieces, assemble them together, pay really high labor wages to people because in some cases the unions demand it, even though they're worth it. You guys are all worth it. Love you.
Right.
And then that all goes out to then they get sold and they make their money. So it's a real interesting operation that they run. But it's marketing money. They think it pulls it in, so might as well. But if you think about the amount of money spent on, say, Formula One, right, where I don't see at all the value of there's no ROI on that. There's no ROI in spending $20 million a year in Formula One racing when you're Mercedes. Really, does that going to make you buy another Mercedes?
Yeah, there's that's a whole nother level of society, though. Like,
that's a whole other society for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a competition between manufacturers.
Well, it's Ford versus Ferrari.
Right.
Right. Ford versus Ferrari. It's or if you're a brand like Red Bull that isn't a manufacturer at all, and it's just a matter of just like we're just getting our brand out there. I mean, that's the dream, right? Let's have a brand like Red Bull that you have so much money you can spend on all these stupid and fun and exciting and experimental races. Have you seen some of the stuff they're doing out there with these like snowboarders and stuff on these all preformed built tracks? It's freaking crazy.
Well, it turns out that a can of Red Bull actually doesn't cost them $2.99.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah. And it turns out that they're manufactured pretty much the same way that say like WD-40, I understand, has like maybe it's a little bit different now, but at some point they had like 12 employees. But the entire some small number like that. It's probably ridiculously wrong, but it's a small number compared to the amount of business they do because the manufacturing facility is just all automated.
Well, you'd think they'd have like 40.
At least, right?
I mean, yeah.
At least 40. Okay, they have to have at least 40 employees. If you don't, you're wrong. All right, we're at 39. Dan. All right. Well, when we start going off in tangents that have absolutely nothing to do with Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers, that we're just having fun. So to have fun with your guys without your expense. Remember, guys. Yes. So this Saturday, 10 o'clock. If you miss it, that's fine. If you happen to be one of the entrants and you're trying to find out if you're a winner, you're only going to have 24 hours to get back to us. We're not reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, congratulations!" It's like it's the show, man. Like it's you watch the show.
Yep, pay attention.
And it's like you got 24 hours to reach back to us. And I'm sorry, we're not going to pick a second one. No, because I want it all.
Right.
Or wait, isn't it supposed to go on Jessy's new rig?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. So make sure that if you're entered, just pay attention. Be aware. You guys have there's going to be like Matson was saying. There's going to be a whole bunch of channels where we're going to share this out on. So we'll do our best to make sure that you have every opportunity within that 24 hours to contact us.
I mean, we will post it on social media.
Oh yeah.
We'll post it out that this is the winner, but we're not going to be like, and the winner is Bob Jones. Shh, don't tell anybody. That's it. Right? We're not going to be super secret about it, but we will let everybody know, and we'll put it out there. But we're just not going to be like, hi, my name is Matt. Is Bob Jones home? See, I used to do that as a financial planner. Yeah, hi, is Bob Jones home? I'd like to call it Bob Jones. Congratulations, you won the free financial plan that you signed up for at the Home Expo. Yeah, which I called 500 people that day and told them, "Hey, congratulations, you won the free financial plan. Can we set up a time to meet?"
I thought it was the whole. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Or maybe it's, hey, excuse me, is your refrigerator running? You should probably catch it.
Yeah, can you catch it? Thanks.
I will
All right,
say,
we would never make it as Simpson writers.
I will say that this drive across the last, I don't know, bazillion states we just did, I get a phone call, a spam call every time we cross state lines.
Really?
I don't know why. It's really odd.
Because nobody's tracking you or anything.
No.
Well,
I'm going to start lining my hats with aluminum foil, but nobody's tracking me.
No, now it could be that they're limited. They can only call you like once per state.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's in a new state. Call him again. He's in a new state. Call him again. Well, how
do they know where I'm at? I mean, I know they can't be tracking my credit card usage because I left one of those cards back in like Louisiana, which was really fun to go get gas the next time and go, huh? I wonder if that.
Oh, whoops.
Oops.
Yeah, they'll have some fun with that in Louisiana there. Yeah,
That's
that'll
the
be
first.
fun.
I've never actually forgotten. I think that when I paid for dinner, she just didn't bring me my card back, and then we left. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't do that.
How many dinners did you pay for that night?
Yeah, well, so far just the one, but
Wow.
don't do that. Keep track of your credit cards.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So, all right. So, cool, man. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. We're all looking forward to having fun. We're gonna get out there. We'll see you guys Thursday afternoon.
Yep.
Hang out Friday and do the show Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Make sure you set your clocks, set your reminders, so you want to be there and listen to the show. And if you haven't already entered, this is Thursday morning that you're listening to this podcast, most likely. And if you're not, you missed out. Then you need to go over there to ultimaterocklander.com, or again, this QR code, cue Gary, our production guys, to put it up there, and scan that QR code and just go. It's free to enter. Why not? Might as well do it. You know, might as well. Because if you don't enter, you can't win. All right. And I've won the lottery because I have such great friends, and appreciate each and every one of you, and for all of our great listeners out there. Anything else you want to add to the show before we wrap things up?
Well, I think we're good. We hope to have a whole bunch of feedback. If you're watching this on the video, like it, share it, tell a friend. Stuff.
That's right. Smash that like button, and guess what? Spotify and Apple Podcasts now have reviews. So Apple Podcasts was always the one where you put out the reviews and stuff. Now Spotify has that as well. So please go over there, review us on Spotify, review us on Apple Podcasts, tell your friends about us. Let everybody know that it's the best possible show to listen to two guys and an awesome girl hang out, talk about Jeeps, and just talk about anything, because half the time we do.
Last week, that's what it was.
Yeah,
what's that?
Your numbers went up because of the bikini girl here.
That, I'm telling you, that the video views, that works. There's a reason why. So what are you guys gonna do for me today? You got to give me another shot.
Right.
Maybe it should just be the two of you totally passed out, like on the front of the truck.
You could probably pull that off. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Well, all our viewers, you know how to reach me, Matson at MetalCloak.com, Corey at MetalCloak.com, Jessy at MetalCloak.com, ModernJeeperAdventures.com, where you can register our upcoming events. As Corey mentioned, smash that subscribe button if you're watching this on video. Like us, share us, tell your friends about us. We love you, and we'll love you even more if you do things nice for us. We'll do things nice for you. That being said, we'll see you on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.